that as I upgrade, God willing. So I'm an electrician and creative. I've been told that you guys do Premiere Pro and After Effects. That is great. Before I jump into our staff, the creatives, I want to talk a little bit on personal development. And why is it important? My personal life, I consider my life as a movement from one level to another. Every level that you leave and go to another, you need to be developed in a certain way. There are things that must change about you if you're going to progress. Maybe before you weren't in this skills clinic foundation, but now you are here. That means if you are here now, there are things that you need to do to enable you walk through this step that you've taken. I don't know if I'm clear there. There are things that need to change about you. You don't need to be the way you were before, because if you go on to the next step without change or the development, you'll not go through this. That's why it is important. These three things can help you zero down on everything you need on your personal development. Who you are. Do you sit down and evaluate yourself? Do you sit down and question your strengths, your weaknesses? What are your drivers? I'll share some. What are your triggers? What are your strengths as a person? What do you love to do? What do you do in your free time? What are your weaknesses? What are things that piss you off? You need to sit down and have this evaluation with yourself. Because if no one is going to do this work for you, it is personal development, it's personal work. And I believe these things go hand in hand. After having a well-planned, good laid plan for your personal development, I believe you can do wonders. Why? What is your reason? What is your motive for being here today? What is your purpose for learning? What is your motive? What is the idea behind it? Because trust me, this why drives everything. There's a quote that says that he who knows their why can deal with almost anyhow. Which means that if you have your reason defined, that this is why I work, or this is why I create, or this is why I started studying, nothing you meet along the way will distract you. Define this why. Define your reason for doing what you do. Define your reason for every choice that you make. Now the year is ending. The year is ending, but there is work to do. What is your plan to work your enjoyments with the work that needs to be done? Have a plan. So these are my 5 tips. These are my drivers now. They could be yours. Only 3 could be, or 2 or 1. Number 1, consistency. As a creative, we work so much we get better every day. That's the beauty about it. Every project that you work on next, before a new one, you get better. That is how you get better. That is the beauty about it. Imagine we are paid to practice and be better about what we do. I find that very fascinating about what we do. Very fascinating. But for every project, the next project you do after a certain project will be better than the previous one, because now you've picked up something. But that can't come if you're not consistent with your efforts. Be consistent. Put in those hours, put in that work. I remember when we were in school, when I was studying, pressure was intense, things were hard. At the beginning, things can be rosy, what? You've just come, new space, you're going to sit here, what? Then in between there, a course might come up, or like a certain part of After Effects, which is tricky, because the software, keep advancing and advancing. So they have to keep showing you those tricks. There's a part that will not be as easy as the first one, but it's your choice to make to go through that part. Push through those hard. You will thank yourself. Teamwork. You've heard the quote. If you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to go far, walk together. A team is very unbeatable. If you're finding a challenge along the way, it doesn't hurt to ask a friend. Be willing to share, because the more you share, the more you learn. Now that you guys are the trailblazers of the skills, the Purpose Skills Foundation, you should be like, we are the pioneers. When you're out there working on something, you'll be like, I have my guys. So be the one they can rely on. Be the one that helps out. Be the one that You guys be a team, be there for yourselves. Find mentors. You guys are blessed. This gentleman right here, he doesn't even know me. But I'll tell you why it is important to be in the presence of such people who know who have moved after us. It is a privilege, guys. Because I know there are people like him who maybe even do better stuff or do a lot of work, but they're not willing to come and spend their hours here. There's no amount of money that you can give a creative, for example, or him, for him to make time to come here. It comes from the heart. So if he's doing it like that, use him. Ask those questions. Interest yourself in those things because you have people that are actually willing to give you these things. There are people that are paid to teach others, but they don't do it passionately. So the students keep getting frustrated. They keep not understanding what's going on. But if you have someone who is teaching you, who is willing to put in the hours, get those people close to you. Share with them. Ask them questions because they are willing. Use them. Reputation. This is very key. Now I'm looking at an area where you guys are done here. Now you're going into the field to actually work and make the money. As creatives, we have established a reputation out there. We are like tailors, we are like carpenters. Unless you come, you know that thing of you go to the tailor, 3 days, nagamba waleta sati owampadi. So there is a whole trail of creatives just like us who have made it their responsibility to kill this job or the kind of thing we do. They don't deliver. They are unprofessional. Those kind of things. You take money and you don't do work for it. You disappear. And then you do it again. And then you do it again. That is how we are. That is why you also might find it that we are not that respected out there. You know, if they are calling career guidance and what, they will say doctors, lawyers, engineers. Then you wait, creatives, where are they? Nothing, nobody says a thing. But aren't we here? We are here. But because of those people that have established a reputation for themselves, your reputation is key. Be that guy. When they say that you don't take money when you're not going to do the work. After you listen to the brief, you'll be like, no, this one I won't handle. Someone else will do it. Don't take work you can't handle. Say what you're going to say. Say what you mean and mean what you say. If you say I'm going to deliver in a week, let a week be a week. If 3 days, let 3 days be 3 days. Your first client will connect you to the next client, will connect to the next client, will connect to the next client. But if you are a person who does very good work but don't deliver, because they are there. There are people in this industry that do great work but never deliver. There are people that shoot people's weddings and they never deliver those photos or that content to the clients. Don't be that person. So you are coming into a field that is infested with wrong reputations. Be the one to clear that. Lastly, I think be a student for life. Learning never ends. You see, you've taken your time to come for training, but I want you to understand there are people called YouTube graduates. There are people that are going to watch everything you're doing here on YouTube, and they are going to do the things. So when you come here and you take your time to learn, be like, let me go to a foundation, let me go to a school, let me go sit in a class and learn. Make sure you're going to get something extra that this person is not going to get. Print media. We are moving away from there. Everything is now digital. So align yourself to that. Be a creative. Do you have social media platforms? Do your social medias work? Do you post your work? Do you talk about your work? Some of us, and he can agree with me, you work for a client or client contacts you and you've never met, but because of your work, because of your social media. So it's very important. Don't be scared, like I talked about mentors. When you see those people online, inbox those guys. Talk to them. Leverage so much on digital. So in that context also, archive your work. I didn't quote it here, but I think it's very important. You see, even these projects that you're doing here first, archive them. Find a flash disk or a hard drive. Keep your projects. Keep them. Have an archive for yourself. Also, when it's time, their sites are there, like Behance, I think it is the one for the creatives, and many others. Upload your work there. There's a whole league, we're like a nation of creatives, so they can see your work and encourage you. Another creative will give you a comment about your work and you'll be like, oh wow, I didn't see this when I was creating. I think I can do it now. Those kind of things. So Be mindful of the digital era, where we are going or we are even transitioning. So print media is dying out actually. Design, or that is why actually you, the people doing videos, are on a very higher platform. The skill you're getting here, you just don't know how powerful it is. Because in the end, still, it cannot be dodged. It cannot. Brands will still need videos to be done. People will need videos produced. People will need product shoots. It's the future. It is the future, I assure you. So everything you're getting here and the hours that you'll put in to learn more, take it very seriously. And stay a student for life. Keep learning. Things change. Now imagine the trends are changing on you, but still you are the creative that eats people's deposit. So trends are changing, you don't deliver, you come late, you're unprofessional, clearly you cannot survive. So be on your A game. So I wanted to share an idea. Look at this poster. What do you make of it? Do you like it though? It is an album launch. Would you go?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go? Boring. But isn't it communicating?
It is.
But what? This is what training does. In the market, there are people who design like this, and there are others also who design like this. Every information here is here. This is what training does. So trust that when you're here, you're going to be polished creatives. Do clean, nice, and slick things. How do you keep up? I've shared the tips. Keep learning. This can be like an example of design, good design. Thank you, guys. That's it.